these crow's feet, but I ain't losing no sleep. I reckon I'll be okay. They show that I am OG. Go ask my little...
All right, everybody, welcome to the Findings podcast. And it is truly a sad day in the Findings family. We have an announcement. Jake and
One of the greats.
yes, I was going to say Jake can barely hold himself together over there. Our boy, we've talked about him before. We've brought him on his floating, beautiful pillow. Our boy BK has passed away due to
BK.
old. But he was a great kitty, and everybody give us a paw print in the comments for BK. Can you do that? Is that
Or
real?
like
Or the hearts and
or
likes?
RIP.
RIP BK. But really, yes,
Or just a hamburger.
the poor boy passed away under the bed, and it was sad times. But he was coming on 20 years old, estimating. So in
So
all
he's free now.
reality, it kind of just becomes the circle of life at that point, and the Lion King, and all dogs go to heaven, and probably the brave little toaster.
Maybe
So-
Aristocats.
Z, you said
Yes.
Circle of Life. Did you guys eat him?
No.
Oh, I thought that's what you were. I only have one thing to say because I've met this gentleman probably 4 or 5 times.
A lot more, but yeah.
He was always in the background.
I'm like, he lived at my old house for a long time when you were there.
Sorry, I'm crying. I wanted to say one thing. BK, have it your
Yeah.
way. And he did. He did.
He did. But here on Guys with Cats, we have to take a minute. We had to take a minute for BK. We love you, bud. You
Rest in
enjoy
peace.
the catnips with Jimmy Buffett.
Mm.
Yep.
Mm-mm-mm.
hmm
He's up on that big great scratch post in the sky.
So did I ever tell you guys about the time that I was visited by a ferret? And an unexpected ferret.
I
Wait,
think a
is that
ferret in any circumstance is unexpected.
a feral ferret in your house?
No. So
Petco?
it was actually when I was working on the that Kenny versus Spenny animation, the first one, the Who Can Handle More Torture. On this page, check it out if you want. I was working on that, and I was on my computer, and I just see like this little pink nose peek into my room, and like these like beady eyes, and I thought that was like a fucking rat. And I was just like all scared. I'm like, oh my God. And I like ran upstairs. I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? There's a rat in the house. The cats are gonna go get it.
Fuck this.
And I don't know what to do right now. And as I'm just sitting here contemplating, I was gonna like grab a box and put it in it or something and let it out outside. But as I was looking around, I just see like this little ferret just popping up the stairs, like following me. And it was
What?
just like a little white albino ferret, and it
Ew.
was just really clean and cute. But yeah, it like popped up the stairs, just like follow me. I'm like, hey, dude.
It's like
And,
a
like,
reverse slinky.
And I was just like, what happened? How did this get in the house? Trying to figure all of it out. And I go in the backyard, and it was just funny because it was like laid out to me so easily to figure out. It was just like I could see my neighbor's house, like, so it's like behind my neighbor's house technically. So I could see they had a front window with an AC in it, but like the cardboard or whatever that was in there blocking the air got pushed down. And then I just saw a ferret cage inside that was like open. So like the ferret just got out and pushed it down and just came trotting into my house trying to make friends.
I love that he came to your house where you have like 3 cats.
Yeah, he's just like, hey, what's up? I'll just blend in with these other kitties.
It's also funny that you thought it was a rat because Theo Von had one of the best lines ever
What was that?
about a ferret. He's the rat king or whatever, and then he talked about a time where there was a ferret. I can't remember the story, but he said, "Yeah, ferret, the limousine of rats." Just off the top of the dome, fucking genius.
That's a great one.
Limousine, dude. Just fucking careful with those turns.
Now, last week, I got to say, we were throwing a little more gutter balls. I don't know if we got a strike. I hope
I
we
don't
get a
think we did.
strike this week, though.
Oh, we're gonna get a strike.
But did we ever, like, just for the sake of audience, did we ever explain where that's a strike came from?
No.
Would you like
Do you know
to?
where it came from?
Yes.
Okay.
Let him have it, Z.
I mean, I can do it.
Let her rip.
I just told the last story. I was trying to pitch you guys one. No, we were like, before we did the podcast, we were just talking on Discord and kind of practicing and just kind of figuring out what we wanted to do. And we saw that there was a soundboard on there. So we're just the kind of people, of course, we're going to fuck with that. So we were just playing around with the soundboard, and like I had this bowling sound just on my computer just cause something else I made, and I like threw it in. And I don't remember who actually said that, but it was just like somebody said a funny joke, and then I just threw in the bowling sound, and I think Jake's was like, that's a strike. But so basically it's our version of like a ba-ding dong.
Yeah,
You know.
didn't.
But in my head, I
Nice
always
shot.
pictured it like when you're at the bowling alley and you get a strike, and then it shows that stupid animation on the screen that's like, a strike a day keeps the doctor away.
Those are always so fucking dumb.
The
And I
fucking
really-
Western cowboy shooting down all the pins.
Yeah, strike comes up. So that's basically what that is, if anyone's wondering. If I get a little unlazy, maybe we'll turn those into actual little animations that pull up. That's a strike, and fucking cowboy shooting the pins.
Dude, I've seen some graphic strike videos that people have made on their own, where like the pin, or no, I think it's a bowling ball. Fuck, I wish I had a better description of this. It's basically, the porn where there's the one little tiny white chick and then there's like 8 black guys.
Oh, sure.
No comment.
Well, I haven't either, but that's what this is supposed to be like mimicking. And so like the bowling ball falls down there with its 3 holes. Everybody has 3 holes. Everybody has 3 holes.
Wait, there's multiple bowling balls going after one pin?
No, the bowling ball like falls down into this dark area, and then there's all these pins that are supposed to be the black guys. They don't have dicks, but I mean, you use your imagination, and they're gonna plug them holes. So
I
that's
like
a
it.
strike.
I'm a fan of this idea.
Look it up, Jay.
I'd rather see it played out in person. What was the link you said?
I'll send it to you. Post podum.
Post Magroan.
Speaking of post pod,
Post Magroan.
if we don't step it up, I'm not going to post this pod.
Oh shit, that's a spare. Now that probably could have been the strike.
That's a spare.
We should do that for
Oh,
like the
fucking-
almost strike jokes.
I'm telling you, someday we'll have actual stupid animations. If we learn how they make like cool 3D world and stuff,
Oh, I love those.
I mean,
Fuck
just
Cool
that,
three,
dude. In
cool
the
3D world
future,
is the best.
We'll have a camera set up at the bowling alley, and we'll just have a guy ready to bowl a strike every time we make a funny joke.
oh, dude, we could have them on the payroll, and they just hang out
Yeah,
at the bowling alley all day every time we pod, and like,
and to Jimmy at the bowling alley.
all right, Jimmy, it
That's
was
a
a
strike.
And
He
then
just has a GoPro on his head, waiting. Dude, we can't afford that. We
That's
can't
a
afford that
great
payroll.
idea. Not yet, guys. Start subscribing.
Please
Yeah.
like, subscribe,
He's
comment.
gonna be expensive.
We got to get Jimmy on the payroll.
Dude, Jimmy. Wait, I am Jimmy.
We also
You
got to
guys-
meet
Oh,
somebody
fuck.
named Jimmy.
Dude, I'm
The
Jimmy. Are
world's
you
folding
guys
in on
trying to?
itself.
You guys pushing me out of the pod?
Your mom pushed
I just
you out
think
of
you
her
look better
pod.
with your fingers in some
Fuck
holes.
you. She didn't. I was a C-section baby. Insensitive
Gross.
piece of shit.
That means you were never really born.
Baby boy Herndon.
Oh,
was
I
cut
made it up there eventually. It took me a few years.
to-
All right, calm
I
down.
I gotta come out of you one way or another.
that's
Zach,
that's
I'm still-
fucking gross.
I'm still thinking about that ferret story.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did ferrets go? When was I mean, not you, Zach. You can't answer this. Jay, when was the last time you've seen a ferret? Was that just a 90s trend where people are like, woo, ferrets?
I wish it
remember
was. My
Justin?
coworker had 3. One
Oof.
just died of cancer recently.
What type?
Aw.
Cervical?
I never really got the diagnosis. I wasn't a part of that, but
It was
I heard
probably
it's
in
cancer.
the lymph nodes.
Anal?
The Noid.
It might have been probiotic.
Probiotic
Beware the
cancer?
Noid, avoid the Noid. What was that?
I don't know
That's-
the Noid. What's the Noid?
Wasn't that like
I'm annoyed.
He's like collects the red things.
his Domino's guy?
Sega. Yeah.
90s Domino's mascot, I think.
Yeah, that's annoying.
That's
You guys remember that
annoying.
7-Up game on like
Jake's-
Sega?
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Cool
Of.
spot, dude.
Cool
Is that what it was?
spot.
Yeah.
You're like that little red coin or something? What were you?
You're the 7-Up dot. I don't know what
The
that is.
7-Up
If you-
dot.
Ever
just-
wanted to play a game that had no reason to exist? There you go.
It was
Yeah.
hard. I just remember it was hard too.
Dude, it was hard.
Like it had no reason. Just like Lion King.
I was about, dude. I wanted to bring that up. I was gonna say
What?
Lion King was the hardest fucking game of all time.
Did you never play it, Jake?
No, I thought you were saying Lion King had no reason. I was like, it had some reason.
It was
Sex in the clouds.
No, it had no reason to be like the hardest fucking game on the Super Nintendo.
No, what was the other one? I mean, Aladdin was tough.
Oh, Aladdin was great though.
Toe Jam and Earl?
Ren and Stimpy. You remember those fucking
Oh,
giraffes just whipping their
Fuck.
necks?
Yeah, dude, they'd rip your shit up.
What was that? Was it
past that?
Stimpy's invention? And you'd like go through the freezer.
Yes.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
that game was fucking awesome.
I
Yeah,
remember the
dude.
lawnmowers being dicks.
Yeah. Dude,
It was
I
cool
just-
too. I like that pixel art too, how it's like it looks like a cartoon.
Yeah,
like
it's
it.
pretty cool.
That's a great one.
That's some old shit, dude. I feel like all I do is find myself enjoying older games more than the new shit that gets put out.
Me too. I get these like anniversary collections and just like I went through and played all the Castlevanias, like the old,
God.
like the Nintendo one that I've never.
I never
beat
got
as
into
a kid.
those, but people love those games. Castlevania is like a hallmark.
Dude, it's
Yeah,
great.
it
It's
is.
just got kind of stiff controls, makes it a little tough. But I love it. And I started just getting like the Mega Man collections because like you guys know, I just am a mega fan.
Well.
But-
Zach, have you ever played Enter the Gungeon?
Yeah, I have that one too.
Dude, they
That one's
have the
great.
mega hand on that game. It is one of the best fucking guns in the game.
Is it like a
it
Mega
was the first
Man
time I ever
reference?
beat the game. I had the mega hand.
Hell yeah.
Dude, it's so good. So
By the
fun.
way, 30XX is super great also. Speaking of Mega Man,
Yeah, I need to actually play that.
because I don't know.
Can you guys stop talking about fucking old games, idiots?
Yes, because I really could do a whole episode on it, and I don't want to bore people with that. We'll spread it out.
Spread it out like you
We'll
do your ass.
My coworker finally got unbanned from Call of Duty.
Hey,
That's good.
I'm super happy for him. He's 18, so you know that means a lot.
yeah, less N words will
Do the trick.
help do the trick.
Like in the world, or
No, you should say it still.
oh,
If you're playing Call of Duty, you can't say it. You get banned.
which is weird because when would you feel like saying it more than in the heat of war?
Traffic.
Okay, fair. Somebody's walking across the street slowly.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
I
you
mean,
just
I'm not
want.
gonna say it.
Usually, when I'm in traffic or somebody's walking slowly, I want to call them a nuisance too.
Mm.
And that's the thing. They can't
Arts.
hear you. Dude, I was taking my kids to their tackle football practice, and I was doing the right turn on red. Not on, well, it sounds weird, on red, like I got left on red. It was a red light, and I was turning right, and this old guy was walking across the street and just being like, oh, he's looking at like these stupid buildings that have been here forever, and they're not cool. It's Tooele. Like they're less than 2 stories tall. He had a camera around his neck, with like the fucking super telescoping lens where he
Yeah.
can take pictures of like Mars or something.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
And he was so just like, just unbothered by anything. And it's like 5 o'clock traffic. And I'm trying to turn right. And I like let him know a little bit. That's what my car sounds like.
Tesla.
And he just, wow. And he's like taking a step every 3 seconds. And as soon as I knew he was like where I wouldn't kill him, I just fucking ripped past him. And Mason, my son, was like, Daddy, you almost hit him. I'm like, I know. I gotta prove a point. Like, what the fuck are we doing out here? People got shit to do.
Okay.
I live in Utah.
Just out of curiosity, white?
He was white.
Good. Then you can fucking do whatever you want to that guy.
Dude, I wish I actually feel like deep down I was trying to kind of just like hit him a little bit with like the rear bumper just to give him a little whoa. To be like, yeah, dude, wake the fuck up. People are like doing shit. Fuck that old guy. I killed him.
Should have killed him.
Dude.
Killed him. I did a U-turn and I fucking
Oh shit, dude.
yeah.
You gatted him, huh?
Gatted. El gato.
I gotta say though, that does make me think of a thought that comes to my mind very often. And when I'm like delivering cars for work and I see people just walking down the street at 10 a.m., I'm like, what the fuck is your life? Do you not have a goddamn job? Why am I working right now? And I see your gross fucking ass just enjoying life on a Tuesday at 10 a.m. Go fuck yourself. Get a life.
I think it's one of two things. Homeless or teen or adult that has a job at like Freddy's. Not Freddy's, like a McDonald's job where they start at like 12. And
Well,
either
but
they're
shouldn't they be sleeping until their shift?
well, they have to walk. It's an hour and 30 walk. If they're
Not when you
on a
have
little...
kids, dog. I work nights and
That's an
wake
hour
up.
and 30 walk.
But Zach, you have a car.
Yeah.
I was gonna say they're either on a kid's bike, like with the 12-inch wheels, just fucking hoofing it to work, or they walk and they wake up 3 hours early to make it there.
Dude, do you know how many guys on electric bikes and trench coats I see. It's astronomical.
And trench coats.
Dude, they're wearing trench coats while just flying 40 miles an hour on their bikes, and the bike lane just
Jason lives in the Matrix.
dude, my
He's got a-
life's weird. I wish I could record every person that walks past my work, because we all just look at him and we go, he looks like he escaped. Like,
Oh shit!
they're weird looking people, dude.
Escape the Matrix. Red
Can
pill,
you?
blue pill.
Can you?
I think if you take the blue pill, then technically you escape the Matrix.
I think you avoid the Matrix. I think the Matrix is
Yeah,
still
I mean,
ongoing.
It's semantics.
So he says, she said.
Bullshit.
Talk about the he said, she said bullshit.
No, dude, at the end of work today, I thought this person was going to go into my work. They didn't, thank God. But just this fucking Latina or Latino, I couldn't tell, with
Latinx.
just the most protruding fucking jaw. Like they could bite their nose. But
Ooh.
Kate Moss confidence, you wouldn't believe. And just like, just weird, like confidently ugly. I'm like, what do you do to get this shit? I'm not the worst looking guy, but I don't believe I'm good looking all the time. And this person's just strutting, fucking like, oh yeah, Danny, you want the fucking chinko me? That might have been racist, but I'm friends with the Mexican, so it's fine.
No, most of our
Problematic.
friends are Mexicans. Julio, grab
Yeah.
the groceries.
That's a friend.
Mm.
Zach's about to rip this pod off the internet.
I might have to take you guys to court.
I get a free one. Don't take me to court. I can't afford the fees.
Yeah, same.
I don't even have a lawyer.
I don't know if you guys have a choice. I mean,
I
I
would
could,
need
I could give you a
state-appointed
10-minute
lawyer.
break to get a lawyer.
I have a degree in bird law.
That's good.
It's gonna come in handy, trust me. How many years you go to school for that, puppy?
2 weeks.
As long as you can get
Oh.
a good bird translator, then you'll be set.
Oh, I don't need one. I learned it.
I
You
learned
learned
the
bird.
painter at my work got his light.
Learned
He learned how to
bird.
paint from a paint by numbers.
Yeah, we're a house
Interesting.
of what is it? It's Step Brothers? House of Learned Doctors.
Oh, I thought we were a house of 1,000 corpses.
Oh, what is that? Rob Zombie?
Yo.
Remember when Rob Zombie made movies?
Or was big.
He
He's
made
all right.
horrible he
He's
made
playing
horrible
shows.
music, and then he made horrible movies. I'm sorry,
Dude,
horror movies are tough to do. I
Like-
hate most of them.
House of 1,000 Corpses is pretty rad, actually. And
I'll-
Devil's Rejects.
I mean, I'll
Never seen
rewatch
Devil's
them.
Rejects.
They're
I am-
fucking intense.
I am the biggest critic of horror movies. I don't like slasher movies.
Nope.
I don't love much like spiritual ghosty movies.
I just feel like you're too hard on it. I feel like you got to go into horror movies the same way. I don't know. You go into like comic books. Like you just got to know like this isn't going to be a good story. But
Okay.
let's see how much fun we have with this.
Dude, but it's
I get
so
that.
hard. They're so intertwined. It's so hard to
Well,
be like,
it's sometimes, yeah. They're
you found
terrible.
a book under your mom's bed and you're 23 and you just found out about this book. Why are you there anyways? What are you doing under her bed? And like it's so hard to put the story together, and then it's like, oh yeah, the demon comes from being
Gibraltar.
summoned by the daughter, but the daughter has to be a
Yeah.
pure-blooded this, and you're just like,
I
how do I
mean,
believe any of this?
I'm not
Okay.
I'm not being a super hater. I just want to say like, and I have some unpopular opinions too, Jake. Like, Everybody
I'm
fucking
here too,
the
motherfucker.
horror. I know I was giving him shit for
Just
being a
kidding.
hard ass is what I mean. I'm sorry.
Hard
But,
ass.
I'm just trying
Uh,
to brush past this and get my
Wait,
thoughts.
but I want to also defend myself, but you should
Yes.
give your point.
I just wanted to say a lot of horror movie people praise Insidious a lot and say it's like the greatest, and I hated Insidious. I thought it was so dumb
I've tried
the
watching
whole
it
time.
multiple times and fallen asleep every time.
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead, Jake.
So to defend my point, I was watching Freddy Krueger, Jason, Chucky, Pumpkinhead, like all the 90s scary movies. I watched them when
Fuck
they
yeah.
came out when I was 7 years old. I was just watching all the scariest shit. And so I got desensitized to like horror films.
Yes.
And if there's not a good plot, then I fall out. No interest.
I get that. I feel like for me, horror to me is something that could happen in real life. And also, I mean, you could throw crazy twists on it, like I like psychological mind
Yes.
fucks, you
Yes.
know,
Same.
like something happens and then they're in like this parallel version of their world, but it's affecting their world. Something weird. Just like I can go like suspend disbelief to an extent,
Yeah.
but it's just when it's like this guy escaped from the loony bin and he doesn't like children, and you're like, all right, but that's like a real thing. That happens all the time. Come on, like I don't know why make a movie about it. I could just listen to true crime. Like
I don't know.
Dude, it's like anything that's obvious, whether I'm watching like a thriller or a drama or a comedy. If it's obvious, then I'm out. And so many horror movies are just so obvious.
They're too
Yeah.
on the nose.
That's why I
Yeah.
liked and I like ones kind of to your point too that you feel like maybe could actually happen. Like that movie, do you remember that movie Funny Games?
Yes, dude, that was fucking amazing.
Is that the
I
one
I
on
love
the
that movie.
boathouse type thing?
Yeah, they're at
No.
like they're at like a vacation house like around a lake
And he wants to
Yeah.
kind of
borrow
thing.
eggs.
Yes, and he comes to
Okay.
borrow eggs and then she gives him eggs.
That
So
one was weird.
just to kind of lightly explain the plot, it's like two preppy guys show up at this family's vacation house while they're there and they're act really nice and stuff, and like she gives him eggs and he drops them and then wants more and she gives him more, but they're just kind of like the tension's just growing and growing, and eventually he like hits the husband in the leg with a golf club and basically holds them all hostage in the house with the shotgun. Won't ruin
Dude.
everything. It gets progressively crazy as it goes.
It's crazy.
And the way they build it from being such a normal seeming movie to just like it turns in such a weird way that like kind of makes you sick. What's it? Fuck.
Yeah, and
What is
like
the other one?
like fourth wall breaking parts and
Yes,
stuff.
where
You're
they look
just
at the
like,
camera and shit.
yeah, and you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, this is weird now because it's been so realistic the whole time.
Well, and that's what I think is like super spooky about it is the way they just come to interact with the protagonist like at all is they just
Yeah.
show up at the house and they're like, can we get some eggs? And it's like it's so normal seeming and you're like, okay, I could see somebody showing up at my house and doing exactly this, but it just gets eerie and crazy so quickly that you're just like, oh shit, okay, I didn't know
Bad
this
and
was
horrible and scary.
And see, this is why I don't watch movie trailers.
Yeah.
If I saw a movie called Funny Games and it had good ratings, I would just watch it. I watch a ton of movies. But like starting that movie off, it's titled Funny Games. You're like, okay, this might be
dude.
stupid. But then to watch it grow into like see, I love that shit where it's just slowly turns into this super dark shit.
Yeah, and it
Great.
I
just
almost didn't watch it just because of the name. Zach was telling me I should watch it, and I'm like, I don't know if I can, dude. But
no,
I
it's
ended up
weird how
loving it.
something like that can just deter you so much sometimes. You just get like a
Yeah.
preconceived notion about it
Yes,
just from something. And
dude.
you're
And
just like, I
Trey,
never want to check that out. And everyone's like, dude, I promise. And you're like, yeah, but it's called
I
funny
hate
games.
I hate that they make trailers for shit. I feel like it's for people that like they show you half of what happens in the movie.
Yeah.
If it's like an action movie, like that new movie with that huge shark, black cock or black shark, I can't remember. It's
Black
black.
Cock Down.
It's some megalodon, and they show you like almost everything that happens in the movie.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't watch that unless I watch it with my kids because I could tell it was a piece of shit. But you
Yeah.
watch it and you're like, I already know what happens.
Dude, I hear Megalodon and I'm out. Big Shark, go on land.
Yep. That's
What are we
always
doing?
me. That's always been me too. Like, oh, Jaws, it's so scary. Go on land.
Yeah, go away from the thing that's scary.
It's like, oh, the villains. Oh, Aquaman's trying to stop you. Go on land.
I'm trying to think of actual horror movies that scared me. The Ring scared me
The Ring
because
was spooky.
I watched it when it came out, which was like
Yeah,
2001 or 2002 or something. That was
because
fucking scary.
for those
And
of
that was
you
a
that
whole new idea.
I was gonna say, for those of you that don't know, that it spawned a lot of copycats after.
Yeah, it did.
And so like at the
Tons. The
time there,
Grudge.
yeah.
Grudge.
And the Grudge was still different enough to be good on its own merits, but
People told me it was. I never watched it.
well, you were the star. You were probably sick of it. You didn't
Dude,
want
I did look
to.
just like that fucking kid.
we
You
just
did, that
watched
little Asian boy.
we just watched Scary Movie 4 and I just kept saying that the whole time. I'm like, it's Jason,
Okay, you know,
which has the
one
best
movie,
line in the world, but we'll get back to it.
one movie that surprised me, which was the original Scream movie, which was basically built to be like a normal, like somebody's a killer. Why do these people keep dying? And it's like a very normal horror movie. But do you remember
It's a
the
regular
ending?
whodunit.
Yeah. Do you remember the ending to that movie?
I think so.
Vaguely.
They just start like stabbing each other and they're laughing and shit. And I remember being a kid being like, it made
Yeah.
it made it so like I was so confused and like the movie itself wasn't scary. But the
Yeah.
fact that these friends like started stabbing each other and shit at the end and like laughing, I was like, it was so disturbing.
Yeah,
But
that was, dude, I forgot about that. That's fucking wild.
that's kind
It
of how
was
I felt
weird.
on Scream 2 when I was a kid, when it had that scene where they were all stabbing in the movie theater.
Oh, I don't remember that.
They spoofed it on Scary Movie where they're like stabbing that girl because she won't stop talking.
Oh yeah.
But that's like what that was. Like they were all in
That's funny.
Scream masks, but that scared me as a kid. And like I Know What You Did Last Summer scared me as a kid too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that
That
was
one
a
was
good
pretty
one.
scary.
Very
Yeah.
Screamish.
Yeah, they were
Dude,
like the same world.
I think one of the ones that scared me first was uh Final Destination.
Oh yeah.
Because I was so young and we went and saw that for my sister's birthday, dude. I remember I left the theater. I was freaking out. I'm like,
yeah,
so I'm just
that
gonna
makes sense.
die? Like,
If you're young enough, then that could be like a straight up horror
dude,
movie.
it scared me so bad.
Dude, it just reminded me like I remember your sister Kayla comforting me when I was a kid because we went to the movies and saw Dante's Peak. And
that shit is dark.
that movie scared me. Like that
The grandma
couple
on the
that,
acid water.
yeah, and like that
Oh,
couple
yeah, I
that
remember that.
died in the hot spring or whatever, that couple at the beginning of the movie. And I just remember being scared after watching that, even though we're in Idaho, like it's cool.
That's the
But
funny thing. Like when you're little, like Jurassic Park is scary. The Velociraptor in the kitchen, you're like,
That is
Like, you go
scary.
home
Nice.
and you could be scared of velociraptors.
Yeah,
Uh,
dude.
I have to give
Wait,
fuck, can't think of the word. 13 ghosts we're all scared of.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
but we
That
all
was
The
when you
love.
lived in
girl,
Pinewood.
yeah, the girl in the bathtub full of blood was fucking terrifying.
Yeah, she
And the
was
jackal,
the
dude.
jackal.
Yep.
The jackal.
But my OG scary movie, it was Freddy Krueger. What is that? Nightmare on Elm Street? What is it?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because this motherfucker couldn't touch you unless you were dreaming.
Yeah.
And as soon as you fell asleep, he was killing you. So, as a 7-year-old boy, I'm laying in bed, tired as shit. I got school the next day. And I'm just like, don't go to sleep. Dude, that was so fucking scary.
That is a terrifying concept.
Yeah, you go to sleep and then you get killed. Cool.
Because everybody does it. What are
Yeah.
you gonna do?
Yeah. It's a great one for sure.
That reminds me of our next ad. Should we hit the ad now?
Real quick,
Okay.
we'll hit the ad, but I wanted to say my favorite line from Scary Movie 4 just so I won't forget it.
Okay.
It makes that whole dumb movie worth watching. It's mostly dumb. It's got funny.
That movie's awesome.
But when she's
awesome.
like, I saw a face last night. He's like, did it have a nose? Yeah. Boy, that does sound like a face.
That's fucking great. That's great.
And on that note, we'll be right back.
You
Word
look
from our
like a man.
sponsor.
Check out the stack. We got stacks.
Stack. Oh my god. You got a cheap class.
We did like that same. This is my 4. 4, 5, 6. Look at his 5 and 6.
Right?
I really like that last ad sponsor. They give us good money, and by that I mean none. But
They
we
give us
like
great
them
money.
so much that we make them a sponsor.
You know the saying, good money is no money.
Then I am just full of good money over here.
Same
A good dad is a bad dad, and a bad dad
is
is
Zach.
the tank. Sorry, god damn it.
Druid tank.
I was
World of
gonna be
Warcraft.
that was gonna be fucking funny, and I dropped it like my
Dude, that's a tough-
balls on a summer heat day.
Summer heat. Remember Justin's balls?
No.
Didn't we call that summer heat? Justin's balls would just droop like a cartoon.
Shout out Justin's balls.
Didn't we call that summer?
We did call it summer heat, and it was easily twice as long as his hard dick. It was like a
Dude, that is
5-inch
so funny.
drop.
And then we made a suntan lotion for them because they were so white.
Summer heat.
And it was called Summer Heat, Rick's Dirty Jeans and Nut Thong Associates.
Yeah, should we tell them, like, because we have all these associated brands, like what the father brand is, the parent brand?
I don't even know if I know. Is it Crumb Tony's Pizzeria?
Big Daddy Branding.
I think it's Crumb Tony.
I would imagine.
Tony.
Have you met that guy yet? Like in these Zoom meetings we have to do with the sponsors?
I don't
I'm not
think
lucky
so.
enough to.
I
Dude,
think I've met an associate, but
he's
Seems
a
like they kind of schedule
Tony.
around me.
He's got like a fucking sandwich most of the time. That's why they call him Crumb Tony. But
What kind of sandwich?
usually
crummy one.
meat bugs.
Meat bugs, marinaries.
Yeah.
Meat bugs.
He's got meat bugs with the little Sasquatch juice.
Guys, are we
Oh,
in with
man.
the mob? Did I just now realize that we're in with the mob?
No, he just wishes, but he's just like a fat bowling guy that got an inheritance.
that
I think the effort's
sponsors.
there. I just don't think it's enough.
Well, he just
He's-
makes good pizza because it's like 90% garlic
10% meat bugs.
and meat bugs.
I do love garlic. I put garlic on anything, cereal, donuts, chocolate eclairs, which is also a donut, I think.
It's
I like garlic.
honestly the key
Dude,
to pizza. I'll tell you right now, if you work at a pizza place and you get free pizza and you're like, I don't like it. This pizza's boring. This pizza tastes like children's pizza. Throw some fucking garlic on it. That's all you got to do. I promise.
Yeah, paint a bird on it.
That's a weirdly specific thing, but I have worked at pizza restaurants and garlic has saved the day.
dude.
Dude,
Well, what bothers me is when people get Domino's and they get the garlic
nuts.
things.
Nuts. Or
No, not the nuts.
the
The
Parmesan
dip.
bites.
No, the garlic dip.
Okay.
It's just
Oh,
an oily, garlicky dip. And I'm like, oh, just dipping into that just feels so wrong. It's
see,
going.
I'm here for the garlic dip. I love garlic. I spice my foods with 3 things. Pepper. Sometimes you need pepper. Garlic salt, which goes on almost anything. And then sriracha, which isn't really a spice, but like you put sriracha in your ramen, boom, way better. Soup, boom. Pizza, boom. Sriracha is king.
Dude, I discovered sriracha at the Piehole in Boise.
Yes, same. And I never looked
Dude.
back.
And everybody put it on their pizza. So
So
good.
fucking good.
I'll never go to a pie hole and not do it.
Jay, your pie
We-
hole is spread wide open.
I think at this point we should get Piehole for free. And we don't. And it's sad because we went on the
Isn't it?
Piehole tour back
We
in
did.
2009
They didn't pay us.
in a band called
BHG, baby.
Sleepers. But it's a true story. We did. We played
Oh, I
in
thought
the
you were kidding.
Piehole. No, we played in Boise.
I forgot. I was there, but I'm like, yeah.
And then we played in Pocatello. And it was the
didn't-
Piehole
I
tour.
didn't do any of it.
Should we
Jay,
talk
you were there
about it?
probably.
You didn't go? Were you bitter butt?
I mean, he
No. I
could
was
have been bitter,
just-
but
Yeah, I was literally just recently kicked out of it. There was like a show the weekend coming and I got kicked out. So I was like,
so we were in a band called Sleepers. Jake on lead guitar, most important guitar. I played all the most important guitar parts. Just kidding. Z and I shared guitar parts. We accented each other's guitar parts.
Indeed.
I mean, of all the bands in history, AC/DC, Metallica, Beavis and Butthead shirt, Z and I got to a point. We bickered a little bit from time to time, but Z and I could read each other's thoughts. And as 2 guitar players, neither of us rhythm or lead. We both just found a sweet spot right in the middle. And we were the best guitarists of all time.
Oh shit! Look out, everybody.
Yeah. But no, we
Oh.
played well together. Anyways, Sleepers was a side band, as you'd say, or a main band. And Jay was our bassist for a good while. Jay, did you play a show?
yeah, I played, oh God. You remember the kid whose sister blew herself up at the party and died on Valentine's?
Yes,
I remember the story.
that was Moth.
Oh, was that
Oh, that
Moth?
was
Okay.
Moth.
Sorry. No, then I never got to play Sleeper Show.
So we would practice a lot
You
for
missed out, man.
this band called Sleepers. I think we maybe played. I think we maybe played 2 or 3 shows. It could have been the Piehole tour.
That's all. Yeah, just that's the only shows we played in sleepers.
but Jay was our bassist, and then I mean, this is a weird topic, not to get too into it, but
Don't care.
collectively we decided to go with someone else who's a horrible person. Your alternative.
But
We
he
all
would
hated
just
him.
do what
but
we say, and he would be happy about it.
Yeah, he was always excited because he's like, yeah, I don't belong here, but I'm gonna do my best to. So if I can play these bass rhythms, then these guys will like me. And we still didn't. And so we replaced Jay with him. And we went on the Piehole tour, which we did play in Boise, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I only remember the
You also
Pocatello
played in
show.
Pocatello, though. That's the only one I know about.
Yeah, I remember that one. I have a faint memory of the Boise one. Was it good? Did we
Yeah.
suck?
No, it was good. It was just a blur because we like rolled in, played. I think we watched the other band, and then we went home. So we
Yeah, who
drove
was Brett's band that we played alongside?
Animal Skins.
Animal Skins. And the animal skin that covered the snare sounded like a low tom or a
Yeah.
floor tom.
Yeah, it was so hard to hear.
And so we couldn't follow Justin, even though he's hard to follow as it is when he's on drums.
Best bassist ever, but
Great bassist.
drums weren't his number one.
Lost profits.
But the thing with Jason though, like it sounds worse than it was, and we were kind of dumb in this because we were like best friends, but we'd still have a hard time kind of confronting each other with like real feelings and that sort of thing. So we just kind of assumed that Jason wasn't enjoying being in sleepers because
He seemed
No.
miserable.
he would seem
And-
miserable.
Dude, and yeah, I get why. See, I was gonna say this. I get why you would think that, but the whole time that we were doing it, I was so far behind everybody in a sense, as far as musical talent and all that. I was learning an instrument, everybody else knew how to play. I was always just like, fuck, this is gonna be hard. Like, I'm just trying to keep up. So it was a pain in the ass, but I was enjoying it in the sense that I was learning, but it was tough for me because every time I'm just like, everybody talks shit a little bit. And so if I was fucking up, I'm just like, fuck, stressed out.
Hits way harder if you're in that position.
That's the
You're
weird
like,
thing about
Jay,
it.
what the fuck?
The weird
I'm
thing
just like,
about it
I'm trying my best.
is like Jason didn't play instruments before that. Other than we did have this band Moth that we did without Jake one time, but it only
Assholes.
lasted 3 months or something. We didn't do Moth for very long. And
No,
so
Moth was short lived.
the weird thing is Jason could just
Like Moth.
pick up all these complicated ass bass riffs that we were writing at that time. And he would just like pick them up, and like I don't ever remember having a problem with your ability. I just remember feeling like Jason hates this.
And Jay is just so 100% focused on trying to get it right that it seems like he's not having a good time.
Yeah, and I realize that now, and it just makes me want to cry about the whole situation. It makes me feel terrible.
No, dude.
But like,
Dude, the fact that
because
we replaced-
obviously that's a terrible position for you.
I know, and I mean it's two things. Like you said, Z, it's horrible that we didn't, or that we did replace him, and we replaced him with Tyson, who is like, if you've listened to this podcast, he's the worst guy.
Yeah.
He's the worst guy. And Jay was like trying his fucking heart out, but he's, a perfectionist. And so it seemed like he was, I mean, Z, you and I are just fucking getting into it. And like, we're all just fucking jamming, playing the songs. We know how to play them. We know how to play our instruments. And Jay's like very focused, and we're like, Jay's a bummer. Get this kid out of here. He's a bummer.
It's weird because I didn't even consider the part of you guys because everybody always just seemed like they were just having fun, and I'm like, I don't know how. I don't know how anybody's just like not completely focused on what the fuck they're doing because I still don't get it. Like, people, I try to follow guitar and shit, and they're like, oh yeah, so you won't be hitting the top string. And I'm like, how? How would you not just hit all of them? Do you not hit all of them all the time? Why wouldn't we be hitting all of them?
Because
So
then that would
for
sound
me,
like.
yeah. And that's just so exactly. It's like for me, I'm like concentrating on, okay. I mean, obviously, bass is a little different. You're just mostly pluck in, I imagine.
Yeah, mostly one note.
Yeah, one string at a time. And Jay, I mean, you picked up the bass crazy fast, especially because we were playing like metalcore-ish type stuff. A lot of it was fast. You were never off time or anything. And also, Jay,
That's good to hear.
you were our drummer for the first band we ever played in.
That's
Accurate.
true. Holy shit. Dude.
We never had any
Holy
songs
shit.
Or a name.
or a name or anything, but we
Well,
tried
we didn't know
to
what the fuck
jam.
we were doing back then. That's when I should have kept with something.
I do remember we had part of a song because we were kind of like Blink 182 influenced, I think. Kind of like a weird pop punk.
Dude, I think I remember the drums.
Why do you treat me like you? Is that not it? Is that it?
Oh yeah,
That's yeah.
I think I
Dude,
know
none of
100%.
what our outro song is on this episode now.
we're gonna have to re-record or
We get to
record
hear
it
it.
for the first time.
Yeah, we get to actually hear it. Wow, that'll be a treat.
Oh my
I
god.
mean, that was
Why
all of us.
do you treat me like you? Why do you? We were British in that song.
I know
Hey, dude.
we gave ourselves accents for some reason. And Zia,
Why
I guarantee
do-
we were just playing like complete bullshit on the guitar, just out of key. Just you play on this on the 5, and I'll play on the 6 to make it sound cool, and we'll just.
So how was that before Justin Wasserman?
Yes, for sure. That was
So
like the
shout out.
very. Shout out the Wassermans.
But yeah, that was the very first. The very first time when Jason got a drum set because you inherited your dad's guitar.
Yep, that's how it all
And
started.
Justin had it. I don't remember how he got his bass, but
I
I
think
was kind of
his uncle.
I was in a weird loop because I had a keyboard at first, was all I had. So I was kind
Yeah.
of trying to learn that.
Dude, my mom still gives me crap about that drum set, and she's like, "You never even used it." I'm like, "You have no idea how much I used that drum set."
You're like, I'm not supposed to be a drummer, or else I would be a drummer right now. Like if I loved drumming, I would have been a drummer.
Gotten another one. I mean,
Or
Yeah.
like played it enough to get good at it or something.
yeah,
It
but
wasn't an interest. Like Z and I forced you into that almost. Like you could be the drummer. Get a drum set.
Yeah.
dude, I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, exactly. That was not really my cup of tea.
Then after that, we went and I got this crappy guitar that my dad had gotten from like a J.C. Penney catalog.
Oh, that's nice.
Like it was really
What?
bad, and it was bad in like the 80s. So then it was like really bad.
The old red and white.
No.
What was
The
it?
red and white was okay, the Epiphone, but there was one before that. And I just
What was the one before?
had that white one. And I just had it plugged into like a karaoke machine.
See,
like
this,
a
I mean, we
curly cord.
struggled.
But we knew this guy from school, Nate Wasserman, who was always really fucking funny. and just
Yep.
like that cool kid who's always just down for whatever kind of kid. And
Drooping.
we knew that his brother had a drum set, so one day I don't even remember how us jamming with him came about, but we basically had like a first song that we kind of wrote with the structure was like with him. And I just
Yes.
remember it was some simple chord progression, but it was like dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun.
And then he came in with like a and it was just so cool.
Dude, we
Yeah.
like going from starting to play an instrument where you're like, I can't play anything. And like we were trying to learn, like I remember the first songs I tried to learn were like Blink 182, like Damn It, and like Adam's song.
And like,
And like
and I'm staring down the barrel of a 45.
that one, and like what's the White Flag, Nine Flags? Doom 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 doom.
Oh,
The White Stripes.
White Stripes.
Yeah,
7 Nation
Gonna rip
Army.
them out.
like
So-
going from like struggling to play those songs to us like making our own song and having drums, like an intro, and then the drums come in. Dude, that was fucking probably better than anything else we ever wrote.
Yeah, and
As far as how I felt, I
Yeah.
was like, oh my god, we're a band.
I
You
just
felt like a
remember
fucking rock
jamming
star.
that over and over again.
Dude, over and over and over and over again.
And then there was later on when we jammed with Jade and PTAD, and this was the first time we were like a real band. But we wrote songs in this program called Guitar Pro, where you could just write like MIDI songs, and it would just have like a tab set up. So you just go in there and write like 3, 5 zeros and shit.
3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12.
Jake wrote a song called 09980, and we would just always sit and jam with it with like the Guitar Pro drums. And like me, Jake, and Justin, our buddy, would always sit and jam it. And I don't
Dude,
know.
that's how you
I
got
just
good at guitar.
I
was
just
Guitar
remember
Pro.
Jade coming over and kind of just playing rap beats with it the first time. But I just remember being so excited at that point too, because we're like, yes, we're unstoppable now. He's got like his fucking tinfoil cymbals and like,
Dude, he had a first act drum set, which is a Walmart brand drum set.
yes, it was great.
The original. I mean, we never played a show with it, I don't think.
Dude,
But yeah.
The 09980 was the first thing I learned how to play.
It was quite easy.
It's actually a really great warm up your fingers riff, I think.
Oh yeah,
Still.
yeah. I think
still
so.
like to do it because it's so just like like it's just so like these two fingers, then these two fingers, then these two fingers, and these like
That's
I don't
a good
know.
point, dude. It felt simple to learn in a sense, and I always kept trying to play it faster. I remember you let me borrow your guitar, the red and white one.
Yeah.
Beauty.
Yeah.
It had some trouble with the action, but you got that figured out, Z.
Yes.
Dude,
that-
I didn't even have an amp. I was just playing his electric guitar without an amp.
Oh, you got it unplugged.
I do that a
MTV
lot.
unplugged.
I do that a lot with bass.
I had
too.
to.
No, that was the funny thing. Like that song, which is not shit really now, but it is like part of our foundation for the later music we made. When we discovered Guitar Pro, I would download like As I Lay Dying and Lamb of God songs, and I would play them, and I would see, oh, it's like top string open, and then like a 5, 7, 8, and then like a 10 on the D string, and like I realized what notes they were playing, and I would just literally go in and be like, without having a guitar in my hand, I would just be like, okay, oh, and then I'm gonna do like a 7 and an 8, and then an open again on the top string, and then a 10, and then an 8 on the D string. So many of our songs were written just by me like clicking around, and that's why most of them
Dude.
felt robotic
Yeah, they
in
were
the
a little,
PTAD days.
and we didn't really know how to do transitions
Yeah,
very well at that point. But
But I mean, you had an idea of what the fuck you were doing.
I'm like, I honestly feel pretty good about our first songs. Like when you hear a lot of people's first songs, I feel like it's a little more coherent. And that
dude,
sounds braggy, but it gets
I'm
stuck in
with you,
your
Z.
head, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you. Our transitions were shit because it was written on a computer, but no, it was great.
But it was cool because then what Jake would do would like, I mean, we wrote songs together. I wrote some of them, but
For sure.
a lot of it was Jake, or we'd just like add each other's riffs to the songs and shit. But anyway, what the cool thing was we could like be in a band while we were learning our instruments, because Jake would just write songs that were too hard for us, and we would just sit and practice them on Guitar Pro like over and over, because you could like slow how fast they went and stuff.
Yeah.
And so we'd just like play it at a slower speed and speed it up, and just like we would practice to our own songs, just learning our own songs. So like
Yeah.
that's why Jake and I are not great at like, can you play this Metallica? Can you play this? Can you play this? I'm like, not really. I could,
Yeah.
but I haven't learned it. And that's just because we just learned our own stuff. And I still do. Like I still just write as a
Dude,
way to practice.
it's so funny that we got good based off of like shit we would write in Guitar Pro, and it was at like 140 tempo.
Yeah.
And so like we had to sit and practice the song that we wrote and do the same thing. Remember Jade, our drummer?
Yeah.
We'd have to like we like pre-wrote drums for him. And we're like, these are the drums. And he's like, I mean, this is before he knew how to drum, really.
Yeah. He got way better than us now.
Yeah. Now he's like a between the buried me, just Danny Carey.
Dude, but I bet part of that's because of you.
Yeah.
I mean, possibly. It reminds me because Z, you remember the day that Jade and JC came over? They were brothers. Jade is the younger brother, and he was our assigned drummer. He had no experience prior to this. The only thing I remember about him is that he wired speakers to his alarm clock. He had an old school alarm clock, and he wired speakers to it. So he was like crafty, I guess. I don't know what you would call him, weird. But we were like, you're the
That's all
drummer.
it took.
We're like, you're the drummer. And JC was our vocalist. Shout out to both them Martinez's.
Yes.
And I remember setting up Jade's drum set in Justin's basement. You walk down the stairs and turn right, and we set him up right there. And that was like our first band practice. But that also reminds me of when, I mean, fast forward like 3 or 4 years when JC left the band, our vocalist, our screamer. And so we were like auditioning people
Yeah.
as our vocalist, and it was in the same basement, and we lost Jay.
All right. Just
It's
power
all right.
I'm
through.
here.
Oh, Jay, you looking good.
I'm here verbally.
But no, we had like a few people audition to be in our band, and one of them was this kid named Jordan Nate, who I haven't talked to probably since that day. And we're like, yeah, come over after school, Justin's house. and give it your best shot, whatever. And I
And
remember he was what's he?
I was gonna say, and the foundlings know about the legend of Justin's house.
The legend of Justin's house. We were
Rat shit,
desensitized.
cat shit basement.
Dog.
We were desensitized to the hellish, or as Jay's shirt would say, hellfire of a smell that was Justin's basement. There was just open wounds of dog shit.
It was quite a
was-
smell fire.
There was piss. There was piss bottles that have erupted. It was just
Oof.
there was old fruit, flies.
10-year-old watermelon.
Yeah, we had gotten used to it.
That
But Jordan
watermelon.
Nate, he was a nice little Mormon boy, as were most of our friends, outside friends at the
Idaho
time.
Falls.
Idaho Falls, shout out, Temple. And I remember he was going down the stairs to the basement and made it like 3/4 of the way down. And he was like, dude, what? I can't. What is that? What is that? And he literally he wanted to be in our band. Like he wanted to show up and show out. And he could not make it to the basement floor. He was like gagging and shit, and he's like, "What? I don't know what the." Oh, and we're like, "Come on, dude! Like you get used to it. You get used to it, man. It's fine, man. Just breathe it in. It's only dog shit.
It's
and
only
piss."
Alberto's covered in maggots.
he
Dog shit, human shit, piss, fucking watermelon.
And he couldn't fucking do it. Didn't we end up practicing at his house?
I don't think so. I don't remember that. I think he just manned up.
Yeah, he just bit down on that mouthpiece and just marched.
He wanted to be in the
Shouldn't
band,
have.
dude.
That's the funny part, is like he wanted so badly to be like one of us. And it's almost like going through like basic training or something. Like you have to get used to this shit smell. And he's like, I can't do it. We're like, you can do it. Man up. You got this.
If you can't
At
handle
that
the
point,
fucking dog
everything
shit,
is on him.
you're not in the band. I mean, luckily we started making flyers later on for the singer auditions, and we said, would you eat a bowl of shit? If so, call us.
Yeah, we had to find the level of devotion that people had.
Mm-hmm.
And he
And-
wasn't one of them.
And then the band
But neither
broke
was
up.
anyone.
But we did for a while. I always thought this was really fun for people, but we still wanted to be a band and didn't have a singer. So we would just play our songs with no singer, and we would just have whoever in the audience, most of the time our buddies, because people were shy, but we just have whoever come up and just do vocals.
Yeah, like an open mic of metalcore.
Yeah, we called it hardcore karaoke. And
Yep.
to be honest, it made all those hard ass kids who didn't like us a little bit, because they could go up and get all the attention. And it was a good time, though.
Dude, it's funny the dynamic that was there when we entered the scene, the hardcore scene, because it was all older kids that played like kind of old school hardcore music, and then
Yeah.
somewhat of like the newer like metalcore, like As I Lay Dying type riffs built in. And we were just these random kids that didn't go to school with any of them. Like none of them knew us. And we would just show up at a show with like 200 people, probably some quite a bit of adults, and just like play our music. And it was so awkward.
Yeah.
We like wanted to be part of them, but we didn't know any of them. And so they were like,
Well, because we were kind of weird. Like, we were like skateboard, bike, BMX types.
Yeah.
And those
Yeah,
guys,
we were skate
Dude,
park
how did
kids.
none of you get laid from
So we
one
were-
show?
we were like the skateboard kids but we played music. So it was kind of like, yeah, we weren't really part of that group. And it's not that we didn't want to be and that we didn't end up getting along with a lot of these people.
Yeah, we wanted to be part. We wanted to be like respected.
Yeah. And I think it kind of came off as arrogant, but we just kind of believed in what we were doing. But I do think some people kind of thought we were arrogant at times with it.
Probably,
Which
but
you can be in high school, but for sure.
I don't
But
ever feel like you guys were like, we're better than fucking everyone though. Like,
I know we were
honestly,
like the. Go ahead, Jay.
your guys' band was the only one around that I was interested in, and maybe that's biased as fuck, but like, I don't know. Until Animal Skins, I wasn't that interested in anything else, but
Yeah.
Animal Skins was pretty dope.
Yeah.
There was This Arm Is Gun, which was really fucking good. Like, technically, it was incredible, just unreal. So that was crazy that
Aw.
that's a local thing. And I don't know. I mean, there were just very few bands that actually locally were like, oh, worth listening to. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I feel like that's why you guys got most people asked you to play most shows. They were like, I mean, you can count on them.
Yeah, like I feel like especially in the later days, we weren't really trying to sound like anything. And everybody else was kind of doing the same thing in different versions in a way. And like so it's just kind of refreshing, I think, to see something that's just different. And
It is.
like we didn't even tune low or anything. We're like on stage with these people playing like the heaviest opens and just
See, like,
heaviest, and we're just playing in fucking standard tuning and just
I feel like we should have maybe a later episode or something, a part two. I hate that we brought this up because we're talking about our trajectory from like picking up a guitar to where you're talking about now, Z, with like cremation.
yeah.
Like, I wish we had more time to talk about it because we're still. I mean, we were still talking about like PTAD days where we just wanted to prove that we were like we could hang with these guys. We would like show up to their playground and be like, we got something, and we sucked. We had
Yeah.
breakdowns, and they would hardcore dance to our breakdowns. So it was like, oh, that's a win. But
Yeah, but
we have a lot after that, a lot of growth after that,
I
to
mean
where you're saying where we had our own sound.
we'll have time to dive into it all. That's for sure. It's all interesting thing for sure. I just never want to overload it too much. Jay
I
wasn't
know,
involved in all of it,
but he was there.
but he was there. He was
I
definitely
was there.
and he was always our fan, and he was there for the time that sparked us into even wanting to make music. And I'll brush through
Exactly,
it
Jay.
quick because we have to go. But we went to the Starlight Skating in Idaho Falls, which is really rare for them to have a show there because they don't anymore.
Yeah.
But it was like an emo show. There was a band called Skies Over Berlin that played,
What
and
was the one that had like
they were
John
pretty
Michael,
cool. That was Johnny Vegas.
Johnny Vegas?
But
Fuck them.
but there was a band Skies Over Berlin and then a band Broke that we really liked. And I remember
Oh yeah.
we were just
I
so
remember
inspired after we saw Broke, and we like went home, and Jason had gotten their drumsticks. And like it was funny because they were just kind of like a local Salt Lake band at the time. I don't know what they turned into later, but they were like a
Yeah.
local Salt Lake band, and Jason's like, "Can I get your drumstick?" And I remember they said like, "Oh no, because whatever, he only has a certain amount because we're a local band or something." And then the guy came out and gave Jason his drumsticks out
Holy
in the
shit.
parking lot, and it inspired us to want to make music. So
Dude,
thank
I
you
love
for
it. That's
Thank
a
you,
That's
bro.
pretty sweet.
shout out, broke. Hopefully you're not broke. Hopefully you're making money by now.
Speaking of, I love
we
you
have
guys.
Yeah, we've made it to the end of our rope. This has been the Findings podcast. We love all you findlings, whoever you
Yes.
are, whatever shape, size, color, not black.
A like, subscribe, tell your friends to make the money.
Money.
Money. Jay, you can say something real quick. Money? All right.